for me, it's the trigger of something you want to memorize, be it any bit of information, shopping list, what have you, and then losing that anchor, right, for later, so that you have to recall it. So that's probably my biggest thing. So and it's not uncommon. I also listen to quite a few audiobooks and stuff like that. And you go, oh, that's a great stat for a podcast or something along those lines. So what do? You quickly get out your phone and put it in your notes section or something along those lines. That would probably be the main thing. So there's nothing sort of, I think it's pretty much stock standard in that sense. Sorry, Tansel, not to be, has some sort of very crazy,
No,
unique,
this is
unique thing.
this is exactly what I was looking for, and the challenge that you got is absolutely real and happens to everyone that learns memory techniques, right?
Yeah.
So when you first learn memory techniques, Ratana Pinto, you probably come across this. You come across the knowledge, right? And there's a lot of it at the moment. So you learn a few things. You learn, memory palace. You learn linking, and so on. Then you start practicing those skills. And then you get to a certain point where you can actually remember stuff. I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. But what happens is that you want to put this to real life practice, and it doesn't go as planned a lot of the time. So you're remembering a name, and you can remember a name for a while, but what happens is that can easily be forgotten, right? And the reason why things get forgotten is the anchor that Mark was talking about. Is broken because the connection is not strong enough, or it hasn't been visited for a while, because spaced repetition, as you probably know, Mark, you're a learning professional. You're meant to go, when you memorize something or learn something, you're meant to go back, say a couple of hours later, revisit it, review it, and then a day later, a week later, 2 weeks later, and so on. So that's the thing there. Now, when you meet people, you might meet them once, do the memory application, remember their name, but not see them for more than 2 weeks, or maybe a month or 6 months. So you've only got that one little association, right? How often are you going to go back and review their name, right? If you're conscious of it, maybe you do it once, but that's about it. So the real strategy around that is that it's twofold. One is review measures, being conscious and aware that, okay, if I am really going to remember these people's names or this bit of information and so on, I am going to make an effort. I'm going to put in my diary. I'm going to do whatever to review it in 2 hours' time, in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, and make that sequence there. So you pop them
Yep.
in your calendars and you create a schedule for yourself for review. Now, remember, when we're remembering something in real life, you're not really remembering that many things, to be honest, right? Even if you're, someone that works in a field where all you're doing is memory, it's still not that much, right? So in everyday
It
life,
says a guy who was remembering the yellow pages.
yeah, well, that was just a one-off exercise that someone gave me. So, I don't have a use for memory techniques. I only teach it now. So isn't that funny? So in reality, everyday life, you're not going to need memory techniques that much, but it's good to practice. So that leads on to the second way of doing things is memory training, right? Because if you're training your memory, what you're doing is you're taking your anchoring, you're taking your storytelling, because that's what memory is. It's actually storytelling. You're taking that ability to the next level, right? What does that mean? That means that when you're remembering someone's name next time, when you're reading a book, when you're solving problems, whatever it is, now it's at a higher level, right, of connection. You're now encoding a lot faster. Your processing speed is faster. Everything works better. The quality is better. So, and this is from training. So that's what I always recommend to people is, yeah, have those, review periods, but also train your memory as well. That's the big thing. And there's several ways of training your memory. I think Ratana Pinto, I mentioned to you, Memory Palace is a great way of training your memory. There's also a website that I recommend as well, and it's free. It's called memoryleague.com. I'll type it in the chat box here, memoryleague.com. You can go on here and there's like numbers, playing cards, names and faces. You can get on there and start training, and they've gamified memory training, so it becomes quite fun. right? So they give you a minute to memorize as many names as you can, or a 1 minute to memorize as many playing cards as you can. Obviously, once you know the techniques, you can go on there and start playing around and really seeing some results. Because what it does is once you start the techniques and you apply them on here, then you want to get up to the next level and then the next level after that. So that's one way of practicing. Another way is I'll write down another website, which is on my website actually, is a bunch of downloads you can get, right? So I'll put these all in the chat box. And the downloads have even more list of words. So I've got like easy, hard, and hardest words so you can practice on. It's also got some spreadsheets in there and so on. So you can download some of these things and start training your memory. And the goal is to get faster, right, at memorizing, but you want to build up quality as well. So hopefully, Mark, that's giving you, yeah, two options there to really boost that anchoring, because us memorizers, memory experts, I guess, memory athletes, our memorization has gone up several notches because what we've done is we've trained our memory to the highest level. Average everyday person, yeah, you can still get it up several notches as well. You just got to practice these techniques. It's like going to the gym and exercising or going for a run, right? If you don't do that, then yeah, you may not be fit as what you will be if you go and exercise. So that's really the difference there.
Cool.
Yeah. How's
Sure.
that
Thank
help,
you.
Mark?
No, it's cool. Thank you.
Awesome,
That's
man.
useful
Yeah,
for me too. Yeah, thanks for sharing those links.